And that's Friends from Ooh Ah Ah right here at WBCN. Ooh Ah Ah out of Boston, produced by David Robinson, the drummer for the Cars, and Ric Ocasek here in the studios of WBCN. And Rick, you just released your solo album with a
Right.
and used lots of Boston musicians. Do you have any plans of performing any of this material live?
I may in Europe. I may do a few dates in Europe, but that's about all, really. And if I do perform in Europe, I'll probably go over with Greg and just do a two-man, computerized slash 'em show, that kind of thing.
Well, David's working with Ooh Ah Ah, and Elliot's working with Jules Shear, and Greg has his album, and you have your album, and
Right.
Ben's off somewhere.
Yeah, Ben's doing some good stuff.
Well, what's the future?
The privacy of his own home.
And I'm sure Electra's saying what's happening with the Cars, right?
Oh yeah, they're always saying that. But we're going to work on an album too. And in fact, this spring we'll be recording it, and it's expected to be out in the summer.
Ah, so another summer album, just like the first one.
Yeah,
it was
I like the summer albums. Yeah.
Well, your first album was definitely a summer album.
Yeah, it was.
And we're getting queued up here a new version of Jimmy Jimmy.
Yeah, this is just a one of those. You were talking earlier about how you can take the arrangement and split it up and move it around and all that business, and that's what we basically did with this. So I'm also doing a remix of Jimmy for a single, and this will be like the B-side of the single, which is sort of a longer version of it, sort of broken down to its barest content. And
now, Something to Gram For was the first single.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, who decides who picks the single and who doesn't pick the single? I mean, obviously you have input, but what comes out first, what comes out second? I'm sure there's controversy over should this be the single, or should Waiting be the single, or Connect Up to Me be the single, or Prove?
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much a mutual decision, they put their, what they call it, they sort of give it to their field people and all that business to see, what kind of reaction they'll get or whatever. They might even, play various cuts, on FM to see what gets played the most and that kind of thing, And then they decide on what the single might be.
Well, with a song like Jimmy Jimmy that makes a statement, do you think you'll have resistance from, let's say, well, it's not a love song?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very powerful song. You're really making a strong statement about the state of America, the state of the culture today.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that should hinder anything anyway. It may not be a, love song or whatever, but it shouldn't hinder the possibility of it being, still catchy enough, and, maybe that catchiness will lead one to, listen to the lyrics or whatever.
Well, it truly is a great song. Rick, thanks for joining us here at Nocturnal Emissions at BCN for
my pleasure, Oedipus.
For our birthday. And this is Jimmy Jimmy from Rick here at WBCN.